At Observable, the security of your data is our top priority. We offer several different ways of accessing data: database queries, cloud files, file attachments, and file inputs. In this video, we'll cover how the data flows between your browser and data source, and in what ways Observable's infrastructure is involved. Here's a quick overview of the most important items you probably have questions about. Observable notebooks run inside the user's browser in a sandbox environment. We'll link to more materials on that in the description of this video. The content of notebooks, like code and text cells, is always stored on our servers. Notebooks can access data from different sources, however. File attachments are stored on Observable servers by default, but enterprise customers can use their own S3 buckets. In that case, the data still passes through our infrastructure, but is not stored by us. Databases require a proxy, which can be hosted by Observable or be self-hosted by you. With a self-hosted proxy, your data stays entirely within your network. Cloud files live on services like Google Drive, Microsoft Office 365, or OneDrive. They also pass through our infrastructure, but we do not cache or store them. As I'll explain later, this is a security trade-off, allowing your users access to data without exposing access tokens or credentials. There's also the possibility of loading files into a notebook using file inputs. These only live in the browser and are not stored anywhere else. That also means they do not persist between reloads and can't be shared, of course. Let's look at the way Observable notebooks access databases. You can use Observable's database proxy for this, or you can run your own. The Observable proxy can be used with cloud databases such as Snowflake. You can also use it for non-cloud databases on your own network if they are set up to allow connections from our proxy. We have documentation for how this is done, which we'll link to from the description of this video. For a notebook to do its work, its code needs to flow to the user's browser, and it then accesses the database. To make the connection, Observable relays the credentials stored in your account to your database and then returns the access data. The data flows through our infrastructure, but is never stored or recorded. This allows your users access to data without exposing database credentials. All connections are secured by encryption, both between your browser and the proxy, as well as the proxy and the database. As a matter of security, we do not allow public notebooks to use our database proxy. Even if a notebook were to be published by accident, it would not be able to load any data from your databases. The other option is to host the database proxy yourself. This is possible when a database lives in the cloud, and is required when a database is located on your own premises and not accessible from outside your network. As before, the notebook code lives on Observable servers and is loaded into your browser from there. The difference is in how it accesses the database. This now goes through your own proxy to the database, never touching Observable infrastructure. The proxy requires a trust token from Observable to make sure that only queries from Observable notebooks can use it to access your database. Self-hosted database proxies require some setup as well as a machine to run them on. The code for the proxy is open source, so you can inspect it yourself or modify the way it authenticates your users, for example. In addition to our database proxy, whether self-hosted or hosted by us, there's also a growing number of databases that offer connectors running directly in your browser. These databases are accessible directly from the notebook without the need for a proxy. This way, your data never touches Observable infrastructure. Observable notebooks can have file attachments, like data files, images, and so on. These are stored on Observable servers by default, just like notebook code, and are downloaded from there as needed by the browser. Enterprise customers can use their own Amazon S3 bucket to store their file attachments. The data still passes through our infrastructure in this case. Customers can implement their own access to S3 and other services in their notebooks, but in doing so might expose credentials or access tokens. Our proxy provides a convenient and secure way to access file attachments, whether stored in our S3 bucket or yours. Cloud files, which live on Google Drive or Microsoft Office 365 or OneDrive, are accessed through a proxy hosted by us. Users are asked to go through a one-time authorization step that grants Observable permission to access data from your provider. After that, Observable securely stores your access token in our system, allowing your notebook to connect to any files of your choosing. As with file attachments, this allows users access to data without being able to see or having to worry about access tokens. In addition to file attachments, there are also file inputs. These are never uploaded anywhere, but only loaded into the browser for the notebook code to operate on. File inputs are the most secure since the data never leaves the user's machine and only lives in the browser memory. This does make file inputs rather ephemeral, however. They do not persist between reloads and cannot be shared with others. So to summarize, your data passes through Observable when you use file attachments, cloud files, or databases using our database proxy. We store the content of notebooks, but the only data we store are file attachments. If you're an enterprise customer, you can use your own Amazon S3 bucket to store attachments instead. Your data does not pass through our infrastructure if you use the self-hosted database proxy, a database with a direct notebook connector, or another means of connecting to data directly from a notebook. File inputs also do not leave your user's computer and are never seen by us or anybody else. We hope that this video has been helpful, and we're linking to more materials in the description below. If you have further questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to discuss these topics with you.